Hi, you're probably not as rich as you want to be. Maybe you're broke. Maybe you're comfortable, but not wealthy. Maybe you're drowning in debt, wondering how everyone else figured it out. Spoiler, they didn't. Most people are poor, or one emergency away from poor. And it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're stupid. It's a complex web of psychology, systems, bad luck, worse decisions, and the economy designed to keep you exactly where you are. Welcome to poverty. The trap with a million doors, and they're all locked from the outside. Let's start with the obvious. You don't make enough money. Wages have been stagnant for 40 years. Adjusted for inflation, you're making the same as someone in 1980, except everything costs more. Housing costs 3x more relative to income. College costs 8x more. Healthcare is bankrupting people. One medical emergency and you're done. Finished. Your savings evaporated. Your credit destroyed. Starting over from worse than zero. Minimum wage in 1968 was $1.60. Adjusted for inflation, that's $13.46 today. Federal minimum wage now, $7.25. You're literally making less than your grandparents did, while productivity tripled. Workers are producing 3x more value. Getting paid less, where's that money going? Up, to executives, shareholders, the top 1%. Not to you, never to you, but let's say you do make decent money. Still broke. Why? Because you spend it, all of it. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. Instead of saving the extra, you upgrade everything. Nicer apartment, nicer car, nicer restaurants. Your expenses rise to meet your income. Always. This is Parkinson's law applied to money. Expenses expand to fill available income. You're making $80,000 now instead of $40,000, living exactly the same, paycheck to paycheck, just with better stuff. This happens because of hedonic adaptation. You get used to everything. New car feels amazing for 2 weeks. Then it's just your car. Bigger apartment feels spacious for a month. Then it's normal. You adapt. The happiness fades. But the payments remain forever. You're on a hedonic treadmill, running faster, staying broke. Let's talk about the poverty trap. Being poor is expensive. Sounds backwards? It's true. You can't afford to buy in bulk, so you pay more per unit. Can't afford good shoes? Buy cheap shoes that wear out fast. Buy new shoes 3 times. Spent more than good shoes cost, but you couldn't afford good shoes up front, so you lose. Poor tax. You can't afford a car, so you take the bus. 3 hours commuting instead of 1. Less time to work, to sleep, to improve your situation. Can't afford preventive health care, so you get sick. Emergency room, massive bill, can't pay. Collections, credit ruined. Now everything costs more. Higher interest rates, higher insurance, higher deposits. Being poor makes you poorer. It's a trap, by design. You can't afford to save, living paycheck to paycheck. One unexpected expense destroys you. Car breaks down, $800 repair, don't have it. Put it on credit card. Now you're paying interest, 22% APR. That $800 becomes a $100 by the time you pay it off. If you pay it off, most people don't. They minimum payment forever. Debt grows, interest compounds. You're drowning, working full-time, still drowning. Bank fees destroy you. Overdraft fee, $35. Because you were $3 short. Now you're $38 short. Another fee, Cascade, 5 transactions, $175 in fees. For being poor, for not having money, they charge you money. It's legal theft, regressive taxation, the poor subsidizing banks. You're paying for the privilege of having no money. Let's talk about debt. Student loans, you wanted an education, ticket to middle class, so you borrowed $50,000, $100,000, more. Interest accruing daily. You graduate, get a job, payments start, $500 per month for 20 years. That's $120,000 total for a $50,000 loan. Interest doubled it. You're indentured. Debt servant, can't save, can't invest, can't buy a house. Just paying, forever paying. Credit card debt. Average American has $6,000 in credit card debt. At 22% interest, minimum payments, takes 30 years to pay off, costs $20,000 total. For $6,000 of purchases you can't even remember. You bought groceries, gas, emergencies, normal life. Now you're trapped. Debt spiral. Working to pay interest, never touching principal. Banks love you. You're their profit center. Payday loans are worse. Need $400 for rent. Don't have it. Payday loan. $400 borrowed. $460 due in 2 weeks. Can't pay. Roll it over. More fees. More interest. That $400 costs $800 eventually. Maybe more. 400% APR. Legal, predatory, targeting the poor, the desperate. Because being desperate is profitable. for someone else. Now let's talk about housing. Rent is half your income. Minimum, sometimes more. You're paying someone else's mortgage, building their wealth, building zero equity yourself, but you can't buy, can't afford down payment, can't qualify for mortgage, so you rent forever. Prices increase, your rent goes up, your wages don't, the gap widens, you fall further behind. Roommates help, but you're 35 living with 3 strangers. No privacy, no stability. Someone doesn't pay rent. You cover it or face eviction. You're one roommate crisis from homelessness. This is normal now. This is millions of people. Working full-time, educated, still can't afford to live alone. Buying seems impossible. Houses cost 10x median income in cities. Used to be 3x. You need 20% down to avoid PMI. That's $80,000 down payment on a $400,000 house. You're saving $200 per month. That's 33 years to save the down payment. By then, houses will cost $800,000. You'll never catch up. The goalpost moves faster than you run. You're not buying a house. You're poor forever. Let's talk about children. They're expensive. $10,000 to raise one kid to 18. That's not college. Just existing. Diapers, food, clothes, childcare. Childcare alone is $1,200 per month, more than rent in some places. You have 2 kids, that's $2,400 per month. You make $4,000. After childcare, rent, you have $400 for everything else. Food, utilities, transportation, insurance, impossible. So you go into debt, or someone quits working. Income drops, poverty deepens. Single parents are destroyed, one income, full expenses, childcare, no help. Statistics are brutal. Single mothers have highest poverty rates, not because they're bad with money, because the math doesn't work. You can't earn enough while paying for childcare, while being the only parent. It's structurally impossible. The system assumes 2 incomes or generational wealth. If you have neither, you're screwed. Let's talk about the soft skills of poverty. Financial literacy. You weren't taught it. School didn't teach it. Parents didn't teach it. So you're learning by failure, by mistakes, by predatory industries designed to exploit ignorance. You don't understand compound interest, don't understand investing, don't understand tax-advantaged accounts. So you make terrible decisions, logical decisions given your knowledge, but objectively terrible. You think saving means keeping cash, so you keep $5,000 in checking, earning nothing. Losing 3% per year to inflation should be in high-yield savings at minimum, making $200 per year, but you don't know that. So you lose, slowly, invisibly. Death by 1,000 missed opportunities. You don't invest. Stock market feels like gambling. Complicated, risky, for rich people, so you avoid it. Keep everything in cash. Losing to inflation, missing compound growth. $100 invested in S&P 500 in 1980 is now $10,000. You had $100 kept it cash, still $100, technically $20 after inflation. You lost $9,780 in opportunity cost because you didn't know. Nobody taught you. You think credit cards are free money. Spend without tracking. Then the bill comes. Can't pay it. Interest accrues. You're trapped. Don't understand that 22% APR means your debt doubles every 3.3 years. You just see minimum payment, $25, affordable. You pay minimum for years. Debt doesn't shrink. You don't understand why. Math wasn't taught. Financial literacy wasn't taught. You're set up to fail. Let's talk about the psychological trap. Poverty mindset versus scarcity mindset. You've been poor so long it becomes identity. You see yourself as poor, so you act poor. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you'll always be poor, so you don't try, don't invest, don't learn, don't risk. Because what's the point? The game is rigged, so you opt out. Guarantee you stay poor. Scarcity mindset is different. You're constantly worried about money. Checking account obsessively, saying no to everything, hoarding, penny pinching, can't enjoy anything, can't spend on experiences, on joy, on life. You're so afraid of being poor, you can't stop being poor. Afraid to invest, afraid to take chances, afraid to spend even when you should. Your fear keeps you trapped. Meanwhile, rich people have abundance mindset. Money flows, opportunities everywhere. Invest freely, take risks, spend on things that appreciate. On education, on networks, on health, they can afford to because they have buffer, safety net. You don't, so you can't, and the gap widens. Here's the brutal one. Stress. Being poor is stressful. Constant anxiety. Checking account. Bills. Debt. One emergency from disaster. That stress destroys cognitive function. Studies show poverty literally makes you dumber. Not permanently, but functionally. Your brain is so busy worrying about survival, it can't plan long term, can't make optimal decisions, can't focus on improvement. You're in survival mode, operating at reduced capacity, making poor decisions. Staying poor, cycle continues, sleep suffers. Working 2 jobs, side hustles. Stressed about money, can't sleep. Sleep deprivation destroys decision making, reduces impulse control. You make worse financial decisions because you're exhausted. Buy convenience food because no energy to cook. More expensive, less healthy. Spend more on healthcare eventually. Being poor makes you tired. Being tired makes you poor. Let's talk about social capital. Rich people have networks, connections, opportunities come through people. I know a guy. That guy gets you a job, a deal, an investment opportunity. You don't know guys. You know other poor people who also don't know guys. Your network is broke, can't help you. You're all struggling together. No ladder up, no connections, no opportunities, just grinding, forever. Rich kids get internships through parents' connections, get jobs through alumni networks, get investments from family friends. You don't have that. You're applying cold. Competing with connected candidates, you're more qualified, they're more connected, they get the job, you stay poor. It's not merit, it's access, and you have none. Let's talk about geography. You live where you can afford, bad neighborhood, bad schools, high crime, far from jobs, no public transit, need a car, can't afford a car. Cycle. Your kids go to underfunded schools, don't learn financial literacy, don't get good preparation, don't get into good colleges, repeat poverty, generational trap. Moving isn't an option. Moving costs money, new deposit, first and last month, moving truck, time off work, risk. What if you can't find a job? What if it doesn't work? You can't afford to fail, so you stay, stuck, in a place with no opportunity, no mobility, literal and economic, trapped by geography. Rich people move for opportunities, cross country for a job, relocate to low-tax states. You can't afford to move, can't afford the risk. So opportunities pass you by, available only to people who can afford to chase them. That's not you. Now let's talk about systematic barriers. The system isn't neutral. It's designed to extract from the poor, give to the rich. Taxes are regressive. Poor people pay higher percentage of income. Sales tax hits poor hardest. Rich people invest. Capital gains taxed at 15%. Your wages taxed at 22%. You're penalized for working. They're rewarded for having money. System is rigged. Working as designed. Criminal justice system. Can't afford bail. Stay in jail. Lose job. Can't pay rent. Lose housing. Get convicted. Can't find new job. Criminal record. Cycle. Meanwhile, rich people make bail. Get good lawyers. Get acquitted. Or minor sentences. 2 justice systems. One for rich. One for poor. Healthcare bankruptcy. 1 illness. 1 accident. $50,000 bill. You don't have insurance, or insurance doesn't cover. Deductible is $10,000. Can't pay. Collections, bankruptcy, credit destroyed, starting over, from worse than zero. This doesn't happen in other developed countries. Only here. Healthcare tied to employment, lose job, lose healthcare, get sick, lose everything, designed to fail you. Let's talk about inflation. Everything costs more. Your wages don't increase, gas up 50%, groceries up 30%, rent up 40%, your paycheck up 3%. You're going backwards, getting poorer every year. Just by existing, your purchasing power decreases, your standard of living falls, you're working harder, getting poorer. This is theft, systematic, legal, normalized. Shrinkflation makes it worse. Same price, less product. Chips bag 20% smaller, same cost. You're paying more per ounce. Don't notice. It's gradual, sneaky. Corporations increase profit. You decrease wealth. Nobody talks about it. You just feel poorer. Can't explain why. Let's talk about predatory industries. Rent to own. Furniture for $20 per week. Sounds affordable? Total cost, $3,000. Furniture worth $500. You paid $600, but you couldn't afford $500 up front, so you lose. Poor tax. Again. Title loans. Car title as collateral. Borrow $1,000. Can't pay. They take your car. Now you can't get to work. Lose job. Lose everything. 300% interest. Legal. Predatory. Targeting desperate people. Because desperation is profitable. Lottery. Voluntary tax on people bad at math. Mostly poor people. Spending $20 per week hoping to escape, that's $1,000 per year. Over 30 years invested, that's $100,000. But you bought lottery tickets. Won nothing. Stayed poor. Lottery is poverty trap. Selling false hope. Extracting wealth from people who can't afford it. Let's talk about what actually works. Education. Real answer. College degree increases lifetime earnings by $1 million on average, but college costs $200,000. And you're poor. Can't afford it. Catch-22. Need education to escape poverty. Need money to get education. Don't have money because you're poor. Trapped. Trade schools are better, cheaper, shorter. Electrician, plumber, welder. High demand. Good pay. But you need time. Money for training. Tools. Certification. Still a barrier. Smaller, but still there. Skills. Learn coding. Free online. Get tech job. Sounds easy. Isn't. Takes time, energy, focus. You're working 2 jobs. Exhausted. When do you learn? At night after 12-hour day? You try. Fall asleep. Give up. Not because you're lazy, because you're human. And exhausted? Side hustles. Everyone says start a side hustle. Doing what? With what capital? Selling what? You have no money for inventory, no skills to sell, no time to build anything. You're barely surviving. Side hustle is for people with cushion. Time, energy, resources. That's not you. Budgeting helps. Track expenses. Cut unnecessary spending. Sounds good. Except you have no unnecessary spending. Everything is necessary. Food, shelter, utilities, transportation, already cut to bone. Budget shows you're spending more than you earn. You knew that. Budget doesn't fix it, just makes it visible. More depressing. Here's the truth. Individual solutions don't fix systematic problems. You can budget perfectly. Still be poor. You can work hard. Still be poor. You can make good decisions. Still be poor. Because the system is designed this way. Wealth concentrates at top. Poverty concentrates at bottom. Upward mobility is a myth, a lottery. Some people escape. Most don't. You probably won't. The top 1% own 32% of all wealth. Top 10% own 70%. Bottom 50% own 2%. That's 165 million people sharing 2% of wealth. You're probably in that 50%, competing for crumbs. While billionaires hoard dragons' hordes of wealth, they'll never spend. Could never spend. It's not about money anymore. It's about score, about winning, and you're losing by design. Social safety net is a joke. Food stamps give you $200 per month. Try eating on $200 per month. Go ahead. You can't. It's supplemental. Assumes you have income. If you don't, you're starving slowly. Medicaid has gaps. Housing assistance has 10-year wait lists. Disability payments are bottom $200 per month. Below poverty line. You can't live on it. You're meant to suffer. Incentivize you to work, any wage, any conditions. Because suffering poor is worse than working poor. Barely. Minimum wage hasn't increased since 2009. $7.25 for 15 years. While cost of everything doubled, you're making half as much in real terms. Working full-time, still in poverty. This is intentional. Keep labor cheap, keep workers desperate, keep them competing, race to bottom. You're losing, everyone's losing, except owners, shareholders. They're winning, record profits. While you're deciding between rent and food, here's what you can do. Not much, but something. First, increase income. Easier said than done. Ask for raises, change jobs. Jobs that pay more, negotiate. Most people never negotiate. Leave $500,000 on table over career. Because asking feels uncomfortable. Ask anyway. Worst, they say, is no. Second, decrease expenses. Roommates, cheaper city, cheaper car, or no car. Cook at home, no subscriptions, no unnecessary spending. Live like you're broke, because you are. Every dollar saved is a dollar toward escape. Third, build emergency fund. $1,000 first, then $5,000, then 6 months' expenses. This breaks the cycle. Next car repair doesn't destroy you, doesn't go on credit card. You pay cash, no debt, no interest. You're free. Slightly. It takes years, but it's possible. Fourth, learn. Financial literacy. Read, YouTube, free library books, understand compound interest, understand investing, understand tax-advantaged accounts. Knowledge is leverage. Use it. Fifth, invest. Even $50 per month. An index fund, over 30 years, becomes $75,000. That's retirement. That's escape. Won't make you rich. Will prevent you dying broke. Something. Sixth, protect yourself. Insurance, health insurance, renter's insurance, disability insurance. One catastrophe ends you. Insurance prevents that, costs money, saves more. Do it. But honestly, these are Band-Aids on a gunshot wound. You're not poor because you're bad with money. You're poor because wages are too low, costs are too high, system is rigged, and nobody with power cares to fix it. Because poverty is profitable. For someone else. Always someone else. So what have we learned? You're poor because you don't make enough. Spend too much. Lack education. Lack connections. Live in wrong place. Made bad decisions. Also, good decisions that didn't matter. Got unlucky. Born to wrong parents. Wrong zip code. Wrong time. And mostly because system is designed to keep you poor. Extract wealth upward. Leave crumbs down. You're fighting uphill. Against wind. With weights. While rich people take helicopter. It's not fair. It's not your fault. It's also partly your fault. Both things true. You have agency. Some control. Not much. But some. Use it. Or don't. You'll probably stay poor either way. But at least you'll understand why. And that's why people stay poor. All of it. Explained fast. Now go apply for that job. Won't pay enough, but maybe slightly more than now. That's something. Barely.